Hey, my name is Russell Brunson, and I've got a super cool gift for you that I want to give you today. It's called the perfect webinar. Now, this little piece of paper right here, it may seem small and unassuming, but it literally has made me, I would say to date, at least $30 million from what is on this piece of paper right here. And I want to give it to you guys for free. So let me explain what it is. About 12 years ago, I got into internet marketing and I wanted to learn how this whole world worked. And I remember going to an internet marketing seminar. I got there and there was like 1,000 people in the room, and the first speaker got up on stage and he started teaching some stuff, and at the end he sold a product. I remember watching as people ran to the back of the room, and he sold a $2,000 product, and I remember doing the math. I was counting people saying 2, 4, 6, 8, and I realized that guy made $60,000 from a 90-minute presentation. I thought, wow, that's awesome. The next guy got up and he started speaking to the exact same thing. He was selling a $5,000 program, and people running to the back. I was doing the math, 5, 10, 15, 20, and that guy made like 80 grand. And after 2 or 3 times watching this, I said, I have got to learn how to do what these guys are doing. And that's kind of started my conquest to learn how to actually sell from stage, and how to sell from, back then it was teleseminars and then webinars. And I remember I got invited to speak at my very first one, and I got there on stage and I got up there and I started speaking, and I did my little close the way that I thought you were supposed to do it. And for me, it was one of the most embarrassing things that ever happened to me. Nobody, not one person got up and went to the back of the room. And I remember standing there on stage just so embarrassed, and just the worst feeling. I had this like lump in my throat, and I remember I just wanted to hide. In fact, I got off stage and people asked me questions, and I actually went up to my hotel room, and I spent the next 3 days of the event in the hotel room. I was probably ordering Haagen-Dazs ice cream, I don't even know, but I was so embarrassed I did not want to come out of there. And I remember thinking, I will never sell something again. And that's how painful it was for me. But then again, I kept watching people doing this, and they were making so much money. I thought, they can't be that much smarter than me, right? I got to figure out how this works. And so I started going through every public speaking training I could do. Not how to speak well. As you can tell, I say ums and ahs all the time. I'm not a polished speaker, but how to sell from stage. I went through Dan Kennedy's courses, Bill Glazer's. I went through I would say in the last 10 years, probably a dozen or more different training programs to teach how to sell from stage. And every time I learned little pieces and little nuances and things that worked. And in fact, one time I remember I was in an event, and I saw my friend Armin Morin get up and speak, and he literally closed 80% of the room. 80% of the people bought his product. And I was supposed to speak at his event 2 weeks later, and he said, hey Russell, if you speak at my event, you've got to do your close this way. And he taught me this little concept he called the stack. And I did the stack the next week. I was scared. I was kind of embarrassed to do it, but I did it. And sure enough, just like he said, I crushed it. It was the first time I'd done over $100,000 from stage. And I literally kept taking these different pieces and tweaking them and changing them, and taking all the best things from all the different people I learned from, as well as some things that I kind of figured out on my own. And from that, I built out what I call a perfect webinar. And it's pretty simple here, as you can see, but this became the template I started using whenever I had to do a new webinar. In fact, some of you guys may have seen the recent webinar we created for ClickFunnels. Someone asked me to speak at an event. They told me I needed to do this, and I didn't have a presentation yet. And so literally I sat down on a Friday. I was speaking the next day on Saturday. I sat down on Friday. I printed out this piece of paper, sat it down, opened PowerPoint slides, and I started going through, and I just followed this whole entire process. Got this done. The next morning, flew to San Diego, got up on stage, and boom, I closed 34% of the room. Then the next week I came back home, and I was like, well, it worked at a seminar. Let me try it on a webinar. I did a webinar, and I did $120,000 in sales from the very first webinar I did using this. And we went on within 3 weeks, did over $1 million in sales, and it's gone on from there, all from following the perfect webinar script. Now you may be thinking, well, Russell, that's cool, it works for you, but I've also given the script to dozens and dozens and dozens of my students. I can show you case study after case study after case study, people who take this and they don't deviate from it. It's perfect. You don't mess with this. They follow the perfect webinar, they do their presentation, and they make money. And I'll have testimonials and case studies down below on the page where you can see how this works. But I'm not trying to sell this to you because I'm giving it to you for free. I just want you to use it, because if you use this, I promise you, you'll make so much more money in your business. I can't think of a better gift I can give to anyone. So this piece of paper I want to give to you, and I want to ship it out to you because I want you to be able to have this. You can print it out, put it on your wall, have it next to your desk so you can see it every single day. And also on top of that, I'm going to give you this CD right here. It's actually a DVD. And I spent about an hour going through this whole concept. Because obviously you look at this, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? So this is a DVD of me explaining how the perfect webinar works. Okay, if you have this handout, watch the DVD, open up your PowerPoint or your Keynote, whatever you use, and within a day you can build out the perfect webinar to sell your product or your service. Okay, so again, like I said, this is a gift. It's going to be a couple dollars shipping and handling. I'm going to ship it out to you. There's no tricky things. There's no continuity. There's nothing like that. All you do is you pay shipping and handling. I'll mail this out to you and you will have the perfect webinar. And the only thing I ask in return is after you do this, when you create your very first perfect webinar and you do it, please let me know. Nothing gets me more excited when someone messages me on Facebook or gives me a call and say, Russell, I did the perfect webinar. I did $12,000 last night. Hey Russell, I did $60,000 last night. And we see these things coming in all the time. And it's just exciting for me. So that's the game plan, you guys. This is a gift. I promise you it'll change your business. It'll change your life. All you gotta do is cover a couple dollars shipping and handling. I'll ship it out to you and let me know how it works. Sound good? All right, thanks everyone. And I am excited to send you out the perfect webinar.